All right, we are back. Quite a long series because I want you guys to follow me along the way of this project. I do have the rubber straps on. They're underneath the bottom here. I think the zip ties with the rubber straps on the bottom are doing an excellent job. I don't need to make any changes right now. I mean, that's secure. That's not moving at all. That's only slightly moving. It looks good. The wiring harness is coming underneath the frame, and I think I'm going to wrap it around the back of the frame here. This should be the power connector to the battery. I see it has a fuse on it. This is going to be for one turn signal. This is the other one. And then they have to be grounded. We'll figure that out when we get to it. Let's go over here to the front. Headlight switch. High beam, low beams. It's got the turn signals. The center is off position. And it has the horn. This is so confusing. Red and green, these are coming from. What the hell? Oh yeah, that's for the kill switch. So I'll pull this out to reveal these wires right here underneath the gas tank. I pulled it apart. That looks like it's coming directly from the CDI box. And it's going into the bike, coming from the bike. This one's important because this is what we'll be using to add our headlights to the existing power of the bike, not to the wiring harness. So just a variety of different basic diagrams. This wiring harness diagram is for the switch that we have, and I made a copy of this, and on various copies I've been making some notes. This is the wiring harness. This is how CDI system works. Okay, that's a 4-stroke ignition system. I don't think that's going to matter for what we're doing, but yeah, there's some wires there to indicate something. I can make a little booklet from this stuff here. Anyway, these two wires, it says on-off switch. The red wire, it says maybe yellow or black, but on this kit they are red. That's these two wires coming from the harness. Anyway, this is the wiring harness that we added to the bike. These are supposed to go to the on-off switch, but you can connect these two, the male and the female bullet connectors, together, and that'll give you a testing circuit. So to complete the connection like if it was on, so you can test if everything works. But we have a few more connections we need to do. The only one I'm really not so sure about is this one. These wires don't seem to match up according to what I'm expecting. It looks like it's backwards, so we may have to do some changing on those, but for now I'm going to do everything else. One other thing that I learned, I wasn't so sure before how these rear tail lights hook up, because you have black, red, black, and that doesn't make any sense. Now this male connector here and this male connector for the relay, and we're probably not going to be using either of those, and I'll show you what I mean when I get to that. But these three wires from the wiring harness, I'll show you how they match up to the wires on the tail light. So I was thinking about ordering some of these connectors, the female connectors, and switching the wiring from these bullet connectors to one of these female connectors, and locking them together. And the same for the relay. Now there's a relay that's made for this type of connection. It's pretty common. It's about $10, but the one that came with the lighting kit was this new type of relay I've been seeing a lot of when I look on the internet. Oh, it has a little clip on it. I didn't notice that before. That's neat. Anyway, I learned a little bit about these relays. That this is the B is for the battery, and the L is for the load. So this is going to go to the red wire, battery, and the blue one is going to be for the load. That's what I imagine. And I'm going to connect those using these, what are these called? These female connectors for the 16 gauge, 1/4 inch. That's these. And they fit on here. So I'm going to cut this off and add these and connect that to the relay. That way I don't have to spend $10 on another relay. I already have to order an on-off switch. So let me show you these wires, what I mean. This is that male connector we were just looking at on the paper. And it has the red and blue wire. And then you can purchase this connector with a different type of relay. And you can just plug right into there without having to do any additional wiring. We're going to chop these wires off, chop this connector off. Or actually, for an experiment, we're going to see if we can pull these out. I don't want to have to order the tools, but I will order the tools if I have to. Don't want to add another $15, $20 to my cart. So we're going to try to get them out with maybe a screwdriver or something, pin or nail or something like that. Add these on. I have my soldering iron, but I don't have my soldering solder, so we're just going to pinch them. Going to pinch them closed with some pliers. We may be able to snap it in there. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I already probably connected a couple things, like this one especially. These are the ground wires. Both of these two black wires right here are the black wires coming from each of the turn signals, and they both plug into this double female bullet connector. I was wondering what that big plug was for. Let me see if I can find that on the page here. Yeah, so this right here, that black left turn signal, left and right turn signal. So you just plug one into each of those one wire bullet connector into each of those little holes there, and then one wire coming out this side. That's a nice idea. And so we have that connected. We have the turn signals connected all the way in the front. In the back we have the wiring, I think, set up for the turn signaling. So we need to go ahead and add the lights to this rear light mount that we have. The turn signals fit right into here. The turn signal facing to the rear. And let's look at the diagram here. The rear turn signal, orange is left, and the blue is right. This is orange, so this is left. It's going to be on this side. So we can see what we're doing. Let's go ahead and turn it over this way. And it's going to be on the left side. Just like that. Or slide the nut over the end. follow along the wire. Screw right onto that bolt. Coming from the outside to the inside.